Hello, Senior Stoner fans. It's the real Senior Stoner back at you for your Carta, Crimson Carta dab of the day. Today is Monday, everybody. Today's topic is going to be acute pain versus chronic pain. Are they different? And if so, how? Let's get into it. Well, you cut your finger, you burn your hand, stub your toe, sprain your ankle. Those are acute pains. They're transient. Once they heal up, you will have no more pain. Other acute pains, even worse but still acute, could be a broken limb, a type of surgery like an appendicitis or a gallbladder, that once it's out, the symptoms should go away. But there's chronic pain. Chronic pain is pain that will not go away, that will not yield. Chronic pain is the kind of pain that if you have pain in your back, pain in your abdomen, and pain in your prostate or down lower, one's going to move this way, one's going to move that way, and one's going to move that way, and then it's going to move back this way and move around that way. What chronic pain does is, number one, doesn't move in a straight line. So it's very hard to get ahead of it and tap it down. You almost have to take a blanket approach to chronic pain. A blanket approach simply means you treat the whole body, not necessarily just the thing that's in pain. I mean this because I've learned this. You got a cut on your finger, you can put a Band-Aid on it and go about your business. You got one of your chronic pain situations going on, firing pretty heavy, not so easy to go about your business. So what you have to do is you have to find ways, methods, to tamp the pain down situationally. It's not going away. You're not getting better in these situations. These are not like the Band-Aids or the surgery that once it's done, it's over. These are lifelong situations. You're broken. So you have to, number one, change what you do to fit what you can do. Number two, you have to know your body and understand, because it is going to be up there that day, down there that day, over there that day, down in the middle of the day, it's going to be over here and down. You have to know what to treat and when to treat it. You don't want to over-treat with medicine or medication yourself. You almost want to under-treat. Because with multiple things going on, you can have side effects to medicines, as I've learned. Medicine that keeps this one down is the medicine that makes that one bad, makes this one feel worse, then you can have that one over here and that one over there. It's a conundrum. There's no great solution. The only thing I've come up with is what I call the blanket approach. That means globally you knew several things. Additional activities of a certain type are going to increase your back pain. Additional food of a certain type is going to increase your IBS. And basically there's nothing you can do for your prostate or your colorectal problem. Nothing. That's just the way it is. You have to deal with that. But it is example of what I said. One's up there, one's over here, one's over here, down there. And then it can change and become over here and down there and around there. How do we get a hold of all that? Well, that's the problem. You see. Because once all that's happening, that's called the hamster wheel of pain. That's the pain prison we're in. Once we're there, it's like the Hotel California, you can check in but you can't check out. Or the Roach Motel, you can check in, you can't check out. Similar situation, because once you're in this with chronic pain, the blanket approach is to move yourself a little bit down the road. Your blanket approach is to live a little bit of life globally and try to, I know you can't ignore it, but try to do other things around that. If all these things are bothering you, what if you brought this into the equation over here? It's random. You never know. It might not affect those. Okay? So what we look for is we look for solutions that are based on real life. In other words, I don't get my solutions necessarily from books. I get my solutions, unfortunately, from trial and error, or from what people have told me works, or what a doctor has told me his patients report to him work well. It's very different than going online and going to a forum, let's say, where people are complaining or talking about their illnesses, because you really never know what you're going to get there. So how do you, once it's graduated from acute to chronic, live your life? You need to focus. And I talked about focus being a problem, but you need to focus on one thing, because this is the key indicator. What causes more pain? Simple. You need to look at the triggers for your chronic pains. If standing and bending and lifting is the chronic pain trigger for your back, you know it now. If certain food types are the trigger type for your IBS, you know it now. If there's no trigger for what's going on underneath, you know that too. You got to write it out. So you get a handle, if you can, on these different situations and then manage them. Okay? But you've got to manage your life first. You've got to get an attitude that says, hey, we're going to be moving forward. You've got to get an attitude that says, you know, I'm in this horrible pain. I'm not going to lay in bed all day long. I've got to have some life. And you've got to have an attitude that does say, when it gets so bad, you will stop. Because that's the other thing. Most of us don't want to lay in bed during the day. Most of us don't want to be immobilized. But if it gets too bad, the signal, the call the quarterback's going to make, the audible, is pain's coming, get to a chair. Pain's coming, get to a flat bed. You know what you need to do. Okay? And if you can't do that, pain's coming, get an ice pack. Pain's coming, put on your brace. You can do that. Pain's coming, take your pill on time. The key to living through all this is, instead of it managing us, we've got to manage it. Acute pain, not so much. It takes care of itself. Chronic pain, people, we have to understand, we have to put the lid on it. We have to find a way to put it in order. We are the only ones who can do it. And there's always hope, because we are people, and as people, as human beings, we have the ability to make change happen. This is the Real Senior Stoner. Let's take our dab of the day now. I've already loaded in some really good sativa diamonds, which we're going to have. Cheers. We're going to have it as we remember. We understand chronic pain now, what it is. We understand what it can be in our body. And now it's up to us to kind of identify how we're going to help each one of those chronic pains and have a blanket approach to our lives to make it better. Because with Senior Stoner, there's always hope. Cheers out there, everybody.